So good afternoon, everyone. We did the following lesson. The lesson was meeting old friends. So what we're gonna go through is this together. Hold on. Sorry, it's just my printer was supposed to print this and it took forever. So okay, on Tuesday, we went ahead and did a lesson on the following. We did a lesson with meeting old friends. So we went ahead and went through, what do you think this quote means? Do you know what lucky means? Do you think you have one good, real good friend? And who do you consider your good friend? So we talked about friends on Tuesday. The quote here, okay, and a quote is the following. This is a quote. If you have two friends in your lifetime, you're lucky. If you have one good friend, you're more than lucky. So we really want to look at the word lucky because it's a word that normally we see often in English. So for example, if I say Edie's, you're lucky, okay, if you win money, you win the lottery. If Edie's wins the lottery, okay, Edie's is lucky. If Mildred, okay, goes to the casino, and I don't know if Mildred goes, but it's an example. If Mildred goes to the casino and she wins $2,000, Mildred is lucky. So lucky means something good, something positive. So we talked about, what do you think this quote means? Do you think you have one good friend? And then we have the question, do you know what lucky means? And who do you consider a good friend? So we're going to be a little bit different than what Tuesday did because we're going through the lesson. There is a video. So I'm going to be posting the video tonight. So Tuesday's video, I'll publish it tonight. And then really quickly, especially for my new students, if you can, I want you to buy a notebook, if you can. Okay, I want you to purchase a notebook. When we're in class, okay, I'm gonna give you time to write. For example, ESL, this activity was from the 14th. And I asked my students, write number 1, write number 2, write number 3, and then write number 4. Okay, again, some of you are gonna have a chance to write these things down. Some of you might not have a chance. Okay, and then I don't want you to think I don't understand the teacher. Okay, some of these things you might understand, some things you might not understand. So we really want to go ahead and make sure. So Sarah, I'm going to turn off your microphone. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you 1 minute, just one. Okay, tonight we're not going to do number 1 because we don't want to repeat it. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to mute you again. Okay, I'm not going to ask you what the word lucky means. I'm going to ask you number 3. Do you think you have one real good friend? And I'm going to ask you number 4. Who do you consider your good friend? So go ahead and take 2 minutes. Remember, not number 1. We're not going to do number 1. And we will not do number 2. We're doing number 3. And we're going to do number 4. So please write. We're going to be writing. Okay, and do you think you have a real good friend? Okay, and the way to respond to that question, and I'll go ahead and give you an example, is the following. Or I'm gonna mute you. Okay, is the following way. So my response to that would be, I think I do have a real good friend. If my response is going to be no, my response is probably going to look like this. So you can go ahead and decide which one you're going to do. And then who would you consider your good friend? Okay, that I'll put up here, number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and give everyone 2 minutes, please. 2. Starting now. So everyone go ahead and take 1 more minute, please.
Oh, Miss Guerrero, perdón, llegué tarde. ¿Tenemos que hacer alguna actividad?
Ana, que está en la pantalla ahorita. Tiene que contestar la pregunta 3 y 4.
Ok, perdón, gracias.
Ah, de nada. Huerta. Okay, so remember, we will not be writing number 1 and we will not be writing number 2. So number 3, you can choose option A. Option A says, I think I do have a real good friend, or I do not have one real good friend. And the number 4 is, I consider blank my good friend. Okay, for example, I consider my sisters my good friends. Okay, so I gave you 2 minutes, okay, and you have to try to answer these. Please try to respond to them. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions. So I know some of you are just coming in late. Please try to be here at 6. Okay, we already started 15 minutes late, so 6:18. You're 18 minutes late. So please try to make it on time. Let me go ahead and do one more minute and then I'm gonna put you in groups.
Okay. Teacher, I have one question.
Yes.
And you put it right in at number 4. I consider my sister is only one my good friend.
Oh,
Or
I forgot
you put it the S
Sorry. Thank
friend,
you.
my sister. Okay,
I
thank you.
consider my sisters my good friends.
Oh, okay.
That's why I put an S. But I forgot to put it here. Thank you, Mildred.
No problem. Thank you.
So tonight, okay, we're gonna go ahead and have okay, a room available. Okay, but remember you're supposed to be writing. So for example, okay, my response to number 3 would be, I think I do have a really good friend. Okay, that would be for me for number 3. For number 4, my number 4, I already gave you my number 4. And if you can see your screen, okay, if you can see the screen, it's right here. I consider my sisters my good friends. And it is 2, so that's why it has to be S. Sisters and then friends. So, okay, before I open up those, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. And let me go ahead and share this tonight. So I went ahead and shared with you, and I want to go ahead and say thank you to all of you who went to test. Okay, and I sent you an email, okay, on Monday, okay, because you were not with me on, okay, Monday. So there was an email sent to you. And let's see if the internet is working. I put the list here, and we have classwork. But we go to stream and we have the testing list. My testing here, I got any information back. Blanca went, Mildred went, okay, Sarah, I don't know if you went, because I think you had a different schedule. Ariane came, I also, we have to talk about, okay, your schedule, but I really want you to know that they want you to test when you take class. Okay, I don't know if there's anyone who's working right now. You should not be working while you're taking the class. Okay, you need to make sure that you're able to go to school. There's exceptions. For example, if you don't have transportation, that's different. But if you're not able to go to testing because of work, hey, remember, I want you to turn on your camera. Okay, and I only have 2 people tonight with their camera on, and it's Edis and Mildred. So thank you. Okay, and sometimes I know, okay, my daughter will be in the background or she'll be yelling, but it's really important for you to turn on the camera. It's difficult. It's very, very, very difficult when the students don't have a camera on. Okay, and I'm going to tell you from experience. Last year in high school students, because of my high school teacher, my students wouldn't turn on their camera. My students were not listening to me. My students were not doing the work. And so I don't want my adult students to also not be present. So please, 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 if you can, if you're able to, please turn on the camera. Here, okay, and then I heard, Saud, you didn't go. So we have to talk about rescheduling. So Blanca went, Mildred went, Yavid went, Najee went, Finq went, Kamrun went, and then Tina went. So thank you to those of you who went. Tonight came, and that's why the class is small. Adriana's testing, Luz should be testing, Brenda should be testing, Melissa, Jessica, Weiwei, Jose Luis, Celini, Angelica, came Jack, and Lily. And then I didn't include Giovanni, Morelia, David, Sandra. Okay, and then Morelia, I did email you because you were able to do the test. So After 9-9, after last week, a week ago on Thursday, okay, you completed 12 hours. That means that you can take the test. One of the things that I told my students was the following. You're going to be taking the test. They already told me 2 times. So you already took one. Okay, you're probably going to be called in October, or you might be called in November. They haven't told me yet. So when I find out, I will communicate that to you. So either you're going to be called in October, or you're going to be told in November to take the second one. Right now, you already did one in September. So the second one may be October or maybe November. This test shows us if you're beginner or intermediate or advanced or superior. So you don't practice for the test. You really don't. Okay. I'm supposed to teach you. You're supposed to be practicing. And if you're practicing, okay, you're supposed to be going up. You're supposed to be going up. Remember, there's some students who start here, beginner low, and then they start going up. Okay. And sometimes I have intermediate mid, or sometimes I have advanced low. It just depends how much time you're investing. Okay. I know some of us have work. I know some of you have kids. I know it's different and it's difficult. So with that said, okay, you were supposed to go, okay, testing. Okay, and it's a requirement. Okay, when I say requirement, es un requisito. And so I'm gonna let you know, for example, when I go into attendance, I'm able to see my students and where you're testing at. So for example, let's go ahead and go here. I'm able to see how many hours you've been in class. So for example, 24, 6 hours, 15 hours. And a lot of you, okay, I think the one with the highest hours was Celini. So Celini has not missed one class, and Celini has 33 hours. It counts the hours. So you want to make sure that you attend as soon as you have 12 hours. Okay, then you're able to go and take the test, the exam. The other thing I'm able to see, if I click on, and I'm going to use, she's not here right now, but I'm going to go ahead and use Celini as an example. So Celini, I can see her, okay, view the details, and it tells me every day she's been in class. But the other thing I want to go ahead and see, okay, regarding Celini is her test. And so here it tells me, if I check test, okay, her test. Okay, and it tells me the one from 2021, 2018. And so we want to look at all of these different scores to see what the students are testing at. And some of my students are testing really high. So again, I want to go ahead and show you that. The other thing, and I'm a little bit disappointed, is I went ahead and talked to the students last night. Okay, and okay, one of the things is Burlington English. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of the students. For example, okay, this student is not here tonight, but the student has not done number 3, number 4, number 5, number 7, and number 8. Okay, we've been in school for now 6 weeks. And I want you to take the time when I say, okay, we're gonna leave at 8 or we're gonna leave at 8:15. Okay, I know it's difficult sometimes. I understand that, but we want to make sure that you can work on Burlington English. You only have access, okay, for 1 year, one. So it's important. I am going to show you that there are some students like Brenda who has done everything. But there's like 3 students. Three. Okay, we want to make sure that everyone who's enrolled in English is doing Burlington English because I have access to this. So again, okay, make sure that you are going and taking the test. 1, okay, you take the test. 2, that you work on Burlington English. Please do those 2 things. Any questions right now?
Miss Guerrero,
Sí.
yo quiero hacerle una pregunta. No puedo ingresar desde mi laptop, perdón, a Classroom, ni tampoco por Zoom.
No sé exactamente por qué, Rosa.
Ok, porque si no me deja, me pide el dominio, que es el que ya nos había dado. Lo pongo, pero ya no me permite accesar.
Okay. La laptop que es tuya
Pues,
personal.
no, bueno, tengo la del distrito.
Ajá.
Ajá, y es como ingreso a mis clases de GET y me
Pero,
dijeron que ahí lo podía hacer también el de inglés.
pero Rosa, te dieron una contraseña para acceder que dentro del laptop.
Sí, mi número de estudiante.
Y tu número de estudiantes que termina, por ejemplo, supongamos que tu número es este. Tu número es 54, 56, 57. Y siempre es
Ajá,
poner at CJUHSD. ¿Te dieron un usuario así?
sí.
Tienes que meterte con esto y esto es lo que me tienes que dar a mí entonces.
Oh,
Porque si
ok.
es que posiblemente quieren que solamente el aparato se use para que cosas del distrito, cosas educativas y tal vez
Ok,
no te está permitiendo hacer eso.
oh,
Entonces,
ok.
cuando tengas tiempo me lo mandas y yo que agrego a Google Classroom de esa manera.
Oh, perfecto. Ok, muchas gracias. Y
Ah,
el día de ayer me presenté a hacer el examen,
ujú.
solo que a la mitad del examen me agarró la tos y incluso tuve que salirme y volví a regresar, pero todavía me faltaron contestar como 15 y las contesté ya como sea, maestra.
Ok,
De, pero pues sí lo concluí, pero no al 100 pues.
ok. No, no te preocupes. Que de eso, que como les dije, tienen que miramos es el primer examen que tomaron en el verano, si tomaron uno, miramos este primero cuando comienza el curso y luego miramos otro antes de que termine el semestre. Y vamos a
Ok,
comparar los 3. Porque sí, les voy a dejar saber, and I'm sorry for those of you who do not speak Spanish, I'm sorry,
ujú,
but for my Spanish speakers, hay algunos estudiantes que a veces, desafortunadamente, que adivinan y sacan todas correctas y suben un montón. Y ya la segunda vez que no adivinan y lo están intentando, que miran cómo bajan un montón y dicen, pero ¿por qué bajé? Y les hago la pregunta, ¿adivinaste? Sí, que dijo que fue por eso te tocó suerte la primera vez, la segunda vez ya no te tocó suerte. Pero es solamente comparar esas calificaciones que queremos que obviamente suban.
sí, claro.
Okay,
Ok,
so sorry everyone who doesn't speak Spanish. So, okay, she was just asking me about logging, and then we were talking about okay the test. So when we talk about guessing, we don't want you to guess because sometimes you might go up really high. And then maybe and you're lucky, you get lucky, like the word that I have here. You get lucky and you get a high score, a very high score. Okay, and then maybe the second time you take it, you see the score go down. Okay, so again, okay, it's not showing us really how much you know, okay, because you're getting lucky. So we talked about, do you think you have a real good friend and who do you consider your friend? So let me go ahead and stop sharing this. And I'm gonna ask everyone the first question. So instead of going into rooms, I'm gonna ask all 16 of you tonight, do you think you have a good friend? Okay, your answer is gonna be yes, I have a good friend. Or your answer is gonna be no, I don't have a good friend. So all of you, okay, I'm gonna start with Edie's, then Mildred, then Rosa, David, Alfredo, Ariane, Sarah, thank you, Tina, Morelia, Naji, Cameroon, Saul, Olivia, Alba, and Cindy. Do you think you have a good friend? Okay, so you can say, yes, I have a good friend, or no, I don't have a good friend. So let me stop sharing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Edie's. Edie's, can you please turn on your microphone? And Edie's, do you have a good friend?
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
Tiene un buen amigo o una buena amiga. Do you have a good friend?
No, I have no.
Okay. Mildred, do you have a good friend? And then your microphone.
Yes, I have my girlfriend.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have a good friend?
No, ya dónde estaba.
Thank you. I don't know if you can listen. Okay. Do you have a good friend? Okay, let me ask Sarah. Sarah, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have a good friend. She is a loyal. She is a wise, and she is a dependable.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Okay, Naji, do you have a good friend?
I have a good friend.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Rosa, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have a real good friend.
Thank you. Morelia, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have my husband.
Okay, thank you. David, do you have a good friend?
Yes, teacher, I have a couple friends, good friends.
Thank you. Alfredo, do you have good friends or a good friend?
¿Estás saludando?
No, que si tienes un buen amigo o una amiga. Do you have a good friend?
¿O es como preguntas personales?
Sí o no? Yes, I have a good friend.
Pues no.
No? Okay. Ariane, do you have a good friend? Ariane, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I have a good friend.
Okay, thank you. Tina, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have good friend.
Thank you. Kamrun, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have a good friend.
Thank you. Saul, do you have a good friend? Oh, Saul, el micrófono again. Okay, it's not working. Okay, Olivia, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have a good friend.
Thank you. Alba, do you have a good friend?
No,
No?
I have a good friend.
Yes or no?
No, I have a.
Okay. And then Cindy, do you have a good friend?
Yes, I have a good friend.
Thank you. Good job. So I'm going to share with you the following question. So we had two questions. Remember, we're not answering one or two. Okay. Your next question is, who do you consider your good friend? And we had said, we said the question, we could say, I consider, and then the name or the person, my good friend. And I gave you the example, my example. I said, I consider my sisters, because I have two. I consider my sisters my good friends, because it's two. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to start with Edis, Mildred, Naji, Morelia, David, Alfredo, Ariane, Tina, Kamrun, Saul, Olivia, Alba, and Cindy. I want you to tell me who you consider your good friend. And then I think I forgot to write your name, Sarah. Sorry. So let's go ahead and start with Edis. Edis, who do you consider your good friend? Who?
I consider my daughter my good friends.
Thank you, Edith, thank you. Mildred, you're next.
Yes. I consider my mother-in-law my good friend. She's so special in my life. Thank you.
That's the first time I hear someone say my mother-in-law.
Yeah, she's very, 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 oh no. She's special for me. More than my mom consider and my friend.
Wow, okay.
And talking to her she's so special.
Okay, thank you, Mildred. Let's ask Naji. Naji, can you tell me, who do you consider your good friend?
Yes, I consider my third daughter, she's my good friend.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Morelia, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my sister my good friend.
Thank you. Rosa, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider, yes, my sister my good friend.
Okay, thank you. Okay, David, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my good friend Ruben. He lives in Sky Valley, California.
Okay. Thank you, David. Good job. Alfredo, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my brother my good friends.
Can you repeat that? Who?
I consider my brother
Okay, brother.
my good friends.
Okay, thank you. Aryan, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my brother like my best friend.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Okay, Sarah, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my cousin is good friends.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Tina, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my sons my good friends.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Kamrun, who do you consider a good friend?
I consider my sister my good friend.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Saul, let's see if the microphone's on. Who do you consider a good friend?
I consider my wife is my good friend.
Thank you. Good job. Okay, I hear you. Thank you. Olivia, who do you consider your good friend?
I consider my husband my good friend.
Alba, who do you consider your good friend?
Yes, I consider my husband my good friends.
Okay, thank you. Who do you consider your good friend? Cindy, I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, okay. I consider my high school classmates my good friends.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Who do you consider your good friend? No? Okay. So, okay, I wanted to tell you, okay, on Tuesday, and I think David, I don't know if you remember, no one said their husband or their wife. No one. So this class, okay, I have 4 of you who said my husband is my good friend, okay, and my wife is my good friend. Just know, okay, Tuesday, okay, I asked one because one person said, I don't know good friends. And I said, well, in the United States, people consider their husbands and their wives their good friends. And then Kate Salini said, no, my husband is not my good friend. So, okay, otra vez es algo que pasa aquí en los Estados Unidos. It's something that happens in the US. Okay, and I think in other countries that might be different. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, because I don't want to do the same thing because there's some of you who were here. We're gonna go ahead and go through. Let me go skip through some of these. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start with a positive quote. The positive quote is the following. Okay, our quote is this. Our quote says, you do not find the happy life, you make it. Okay, let me repeat it. You do not find the happy life, you make it. So I think sometimes it's difficult to understand things in English, but it's telling you that you don't find it. Okay, you're not, and I hope you understand the word find. You do not find. You have to make it. So it's just, I wanted to start with the positive quote today. So our positive quote is, you do not find that happy life, you make it. So hopefully it makes sense. Okay, and then let me know, does anyone have any comments about today's quote? Any comments? ¿Algún comentario? Any comments?
Teacher,
So,
because I'm have now, because right here, it's not too many people consider you friend, because it's working different, and the society is different too. It's, you know, you look different, or you poor, or you know speak English good, and then you consider it exactly for me.
So Mildred, I think it's I don't know if it's maybe cultural.
Oh yeah, the
I think
culture.
it has to
Yeah.
do a lot with cultures.
Oh,
With
okay.
cultural background. I can tell you, Mildred, even though I grew up here in the United States, my parents are both Mexican.
Yeah.
I don't have very many friends. Okay, my family, okay, I consider my family my friends because it is difficult. So I agree with Mildred. Okay, having friends from work is a little bit challenging. It's difficult.
Yes.
Okay, and for me, the word, and we learned these words. So I'm gonna give you a chance. Those of you who went to the test and missed class, the word trust. This is one of the words that we looked at, trust. Okay, and for those of you who are Spanish speakers, is en confiar. Okay, do we trust people? Do we, are we honest with people? Are people honest with us? So it's hard to have friends, I think, okay, Mildred, especially when you're adult. When you're a kid, fine. Okay, if you're in elementary, if you're in middle school, if you're in high school, it's easy to have friends. I think it's easy. When you're an adult, it's more difficult to have friends.
Difficult. Yeah, because this my experience here is the same. For me, even for me, I'm old. I'm 56 years old. I feel beautiful anyway. When for me, see my in the mirror, I'm so beautiful anyway, because I love myself. Because the people told me one day, why you not paint your white hair? You look ugly. And they say, I'm sorry, I don't have time. And I see my white hair. In the morning, I work, I clean my house and wait the babies, and then I work every day. And then it's too hard for me go check my face because I don't have time. And then when the people call me, what are you doing? I'm so beautiful. And they say, laughing the people, and they say, yes, it's fine because you see my face. Sometimes it's ugly. I'm old, but I'm look in the mirror. I'm so beautiful for myself. Thank you, teacher.
Oh, no worries, Mildred. I don't know if anyone else has a comment. Okay, anything else to say? I agree with Mildred. Okay, and I tell my high school students this all the time. Okay, there's a saying that my mom says. Okay, young people, okay, are full of youth. So los jóvenes están llenos de juventud. Okay, it's all about themselves. Okay, son egoístas. They're selfish. They think about their hair, their nails, how they look. Okay, and those of you who still don't have children, children take a lot of time. So I only have had my daughter for 2 years, and my life is different. So different. So again, our quote, positive quote, you don't find happy life, you make it. And we might not have, and these are words that maybe you might want to write down. We might not always have a lot of money. We might not always have a big house or the best car, okay, or the best clothes. Okay, but really remember these are all material things. Okay, material things. Okay, I have seen people who don't have anything. I'm serious. I have seen people who do not have anything, but they're happy. They're so happy. And I have seen people with a lot of money, with a big house, with a nice car and nice clothes, and they're not happy. So remember, money, cars, houses, clothes, it does not equal happiness. So that's what I wanted to go ahead and start with today. Okay. You do not find the happy life, you make it. So with that said, okay, we're going to go ahead and start with how do you respond? So this is taken from Burlington English tonight, and I want you to write them. So we have two things that are good news. So look at the example below. We have a mall and a mirror. A mall says, how are you? You look happy. A mirror says, thank you. I have a new job. A mall says, really? That's great news. So our first conversation has to say, my son is getting married. That's my first conversation. My second conversation is, I'm an American citizen now. So this is a good news. So we're gonna go ahead and do one. We'll do number one together, but I'm gonna have you do number two individually, independently. So if we look at the example right here, Amal starts by, how are you? You look happy. We wanna go ahead and say, let's go ahead and say the name Jessica. And she's not here tonight, but we're gonna use her name. Jessica says, how are you? You look happy. Okay, and we're gonna say the name David. David is gonna say thank you. And the good news is my son is getting married. What do you think Jessica should say? Okay, because David just said, my son is getting married. Should Jessica say, that's great news, congratulations, how exciting, really? Tell me more. What is an appropriate response?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And then should we add one more thing besides congratulations?
Tell me more. Oh, that's great.
Let's go ahead and go with,
That's great news.
Yeah.
so again, okay, our example for number one, and we did number one together, so you don't have to do one, is Jessica says, how are you? You look happy. David says, thank you, my son is getting married. Jessica says, congratulations, that's great news. So what I want you to do right now is, for discussion number two, it's going to be your job, because it says, I'm an American citizen now. I want you to do the same thing. You have to have three dialogues. You have to have one, you have to have two, and then you have to have three. So tell me how you would do that response. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 minutes, and then I'm going to ask three of you to volunteer and read what you wrote. So please write in your notebook. Please write in your notebook. and tell me, okay, that second conversation. The second conversation is, I'm an American citizen now.
Teacher,
Yes.
that's supposed to be today. Go to take my test,
Yeah.
but I couldn't because all this week I work. I just get up at 3:30 in the morning, and I barely came home.
Okay.
So I get tired. Plus today, my headache, so I couldn't go. So I don't know if I have another chance for other day next week.
Yeah, they're gonna have another chance next week on, I think, Tuesday and Thursday, but I won't know. So that we check your email. Okay. I think maybe they will let me know mañana, tomorrow. The second.
I don't think I can tomorrow, teacher, because I work in the same place, and plus tomorrow's Friday, so a lot of traffic. Go back home.
No. They're gonna tell me tomorrow. So me van a informar mañana.
Oh, I thought you say maybe one appointment for tomorrow.
No. Tuesday or Thursday. I think that's when they're gonna have appointments next week.
Okay.
Thursday.
Okay.
Everyone take 40 more seconds.
مثلا که یه خط بود نوشتن نه نوشتن نه میشه من یه ماشین خریدم.
So let me go ahead and add. Let me see if I can add. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this, and I'm gonna present it. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of this. And I need 2 volunteers. Volunteer number 1 is gonna go ahead and tell me their example, and then volunteer number 2 is gonna tell me their example. So for those of you who are like, I don't understand this, Ms. Guerrero, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the teacher's example. So my example, remember you're supposed to have 3 dialogues. So dialogue number 1, you can say the name is gonna be Mary. And she's gonna say, how are you? You look happy. And then we're gonna say John. John says, thank you. I'm an American citizen now. And I'm gonna say that Mary says, really? How exciting. So you're just trying to make a conversation. So this is an example of a conversation. Again, Mary says, how are you? You look happy. John says, thank you. I'm an American citizen now. And Mary says, really? How exciting. So I don't know if I have a volunteer that wants to go ahead and do their own example. Any volunteers? No one? Melissa? Okay, go ahead and tell me yours, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Cindy told, how are you? You look happy.
Hold on. Okay, and then
Carlos answered, thank you. I am American citizen now. And Cindy answered, well, really? That's great. That's great news.
so thank you, okay, Melissa. So Melissa went ahead and had the names here that you can see on my screen. Cindy, how are you? You look happy. Carlos says, thank you. I'm an American citizen now. Cindy, really? That's great news. And then do I have another volunteer to share with us their response? One more volunteer. So thank you, Melissa. No one?
Alba.
Okay, Alba, go ahead and tell me, please.
Okay. Flor answer. How are you? Look happy. Juan, how do you say respond in English?
Response.
Response. Okay. Juan responds. Thank you. I am American citizen now. Flor, how exciting. Congratulations.
So both of them are different, and then both of them have the same information. Okay, we want to make sure that we know how to respond. Okay, we want to make sure that we know how to respond. Okay, when I say that we want to know how to respond, imagine if we're at work and at work someone tells Najee, I'm an American citizen now, and Najee says, okay, something, okay, that is not an appropriate response. Okay, we want to make sure that we understand. So how exciting, it means you're happy for the person. Really, okay, it's just, you're still excited. Okay, there's people who use really in different contents, but in this context, okay, we're excited for the person. We're happy for the person. Okay, obviously, okay, we might have people who might not be excited. Okay, but we don't say I don't care. We don't say who cares. It doesn't matter. Like those are not appropriate responses. So right now we're looking at 2 appropriate responses for that information. So let me know if you have any questions regarding this. Okay, and I'm gonna be screenshotting this so that I can put it on our PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and clear this. And now I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to do your own. Your own is gonna look like this. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about inappropriate, okay, or negative, okay, things that are happening. So when we say negative, we're looking at bad news. So for example, if someone says, my mother's in the hospital, you do not say that's great news. You never.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So just like what we did with the conversations, I want you to try to do these 2 by yourself, okay, independently. Okay, let's look at the example. Okay, and I'm gonna ask 2 of you to read. So let me ask Rosa, you'll be Alicia, and then I'm gonna ask Najee. Okay, Najee, can you be Victor, please? And it's the conversation right here. So Rosa, Alicia, and then
Okay.
Najee, you'll be Victor. So Rosa, go ahead and start, please.
Okay, you look sad. Is everything all right?
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? No. David, go ahead and read that response, please.
I can hear you.
Can you read the response, Victor, for Victor? Can you see it on my screen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. No, I'm not feeling well.
Oh no, I am sorry to hear that.
Okay, thank you. Good job. So again, Alicia says you look sad. Is everything all right? Victor says no, I'm not feeling well. And then Alicia says, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Please write it out. Please write it out. Okay, your first bad news is my mother's in the hospital. That's number 1. Number 2, I can't find a job. I want you to do 3 responses again. Our responses can be, oh no. Our second response can be, I'm sorry to hear that. The third one, that's too bad. The fourth one, really. And the fifth one, tell me more. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Please take 5 minutes to write a conversation, and then we'll go ahead and take a break. So let's go ahead and do 5 minutes, everyone. 5.
Close, yeah.
So everyone, 2 more minutes.
آخه تنبله چیزی نیست این درسی که میده.
Everyone take one more minute. Okay, so really quickly before we go, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my 2 examples so that you have an idea. Okay, I don't want you to go to break and be like, I have no clue what we just did. Okay, for number 1, okay, I used Omar. And Omar says, you look sad. Is everything okay? He was talking to Carla. And she says, no, my mother's in the hospital. And Omar says, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. So again, you want to make sure that you understand how to respond. Omar says, you look sad. Is everything okay? And Carla says, no, my mother's in the hospital. And Omar responds, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. This was for number 1. Okay, and one more before we go. I'm gonna do the same thing, but for number 2, Anna says, you look sad. Is everything okay? And Lou says, no, I can't find a job. Anna says, really? Tell me more. Again, we want to make sure that every situation we know how to respond. We still say you look sad, is everything okay? And it doesn't always have to be said. Maybe you look mad. You look mad, is everything okay? No, I can't find a job. Anna says, really? Tell me more. Okay, maybe the person wants to talk about it. So that's why she says, tell me more. So again, these are 2 responses, 2 different ones. This would be for number 2. So I want to make sure that you understand, and then I'm going to be giving you a break. So when we come back from break, I'm going to be asking 2 of you. One of you is going to give me your example for number 1. And then the second person is going to give me their example for number 2. So right now it's 7:13. It's been a long night for some of you. So let's go ahead and tonight, let's take a 15-minute break. Okay, so everyone come back at 7:28. You can stay or you can log off and then come back on Zoom. So, okay, again, 15-minute break. Let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break and then we'll come back.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and come back. And okay, there's a lot of different things here. But remember, we said we were going to go ahead and do the bad news. Okay, one of you was going to give me example 1, and then one of you was going to give me example 2. So let's go ahead and go to the blank one so that we can see. And for the last one, I had Alba and Melissa give me an example. So I don't know if we have someone different. Alguien diferente, someone different. Okay, you saw my examples. Okay, so example one, that was, okay, the one that says, my mother's in the hospital. And then we had example number two. Oops, that I should have one. Example number two. Okay, this one was regarding, okay, I can't find a job. So do we have a volunteer to tell me, okay, their conversation for number one, my mother's in the hospital, and do we have a volunteer for number two for I can't find a job? Volunteers tonight? Someone who's a volunteer, Nadia, someone? No one wants to be a volunteer tonight? Oh no. Okay, so, okay, I want you to be a volunteer and no one wants to be a volunteer.
Mi es, a ver si estoy bien.
Okay, so Rosa, number one, my mother's in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Rosa. Okay, so you tell me, Rosa.
Okay. Okay. My mother is in the hospital. Is Victor.
Victor? Okay.
Alma. Oh no. I am sorry to hear that. That one.
Hear that. So thank you. So the only thing, Rosa, you forgot Alma. Okay, saying you look sad. Okay, is everything okay?
Okay.
So that was, okay, number one. So remember, we have to have three dialogues, dialogue 1, 2, and 3. So then the next one was, I can't find a job. Do we have a volunteer for number 2?
Yo, Morelia, maestra. Okay. A ver, you look, Ana, es Ana. You look sad. Is everything all right?
Okay.
Maria. No, I can't find a job. Anna. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Rosa, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome.
So remember, okay, you have to have 3 dialogues, 3. So we have, okay, our classmates. So let's go ahead and read Rosa's again. Rosa had number 1, and Rosa said, Alma responds, you look sad. Is everything okay? Victor says, my mother's in the hospital. Alma, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Morelia did number 2, and Morelia said, Ana. Ana responds, you look sad. Is everything okay? Maria says, no, I can't find a job. And then Ana says, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. So again, 2 different examples, and then both were practicing how to do a response correctly. So we'll go ahead and add that later to our presentation. So let's go ahead and do the following. We're gonna skip this one. So tonight, before we go or we start working on Burlington English, I want to go through this. I think there's a lot of my students who forgot what the simple present was. So how to form questions. Right now we're going to ask questions. In English, we have 3 different things, or actually 2. Do, you. Does he? Does she? Do you? And do they? All of them can have the same verb. So do you work here? Does he work here? Does she work here? Do you work here? And do they work here? The answers are yes, I do. Yes, he does. Yes, she does. Yes, we do. Yes, they do. Okay, this is for yes. In English, when we're saying a negative, the negative is going to change because not only do we say no, look at, I'm going to circle the no's. So no, 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 and no. We have to add don't, doesn't, don't, and don't. So for example, if I ask Alfredo, do you work
Here.
here? So if I ask Alfredo, and I was thinking about a question to ask you. So what if I ask Alfredo, do you work at Starbucks? And Alfredo says, yes, I do. Or he can tell me, no, I don't. So Alfredo, I'm going to ask you, do you work at Starbucks, Alfredo?
No. It's different.
So remember the phrase is no, I don't. Okay, so Edie's the same thing. Imagine if I'm asking you the same question. Okay, do you work at Starbucks, Edie's? And Edie's is gonna respond. What are you gonna say, Edie's? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Okay.
100% help. 100% help.
Thank you. So again, my response looked a little bit different. So my question was, do you work at Starbucks? Okay, that's what I asked my students. Okay, I asked Alfredo and I asked Edie's, do you work at Starbucks? Okay, Alfredo said, he actually told me, no, I don't. And then Edie's actually said, yes, I do. So again, this is just practice right now. This is only practice. So remember that all of these are just examples. We can always say, maybe we don't want to use work. Maybe we want to use the word eat. Do you? Okay, and I'm going to say eat here. Maybe that's what I want to say. Do you eat here? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. What if I say, does he? Does he eat here? Yes, he does. Or no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
If you say, does she eat here? Yes, she does. Or we can say, no, she doesn't. And then I'm going to say, do you eat here again? Yes, we do. No, we don't. And do they eat here? Yes, they do. No, they don't. And then some of you might be wondering, why do we have you twice? This you up here is singular.
Singular.
We're only talking about one person. This is singular. So if you're thinking, why does Ms. Guerrero have you here? And what I should have you here? Singular. This one down
Plural.
here is going to be plural. And then remember, when we say singular, it's only one person. When we say plural, it's two or more people. So do we have questions with how to make questions in the simple present? I think this one should be simple. I hope this one is simple. Any questions or no questions with the simple present?
No.
No questions? Okay. I want you then on this assignment. So when you go to Burlington English, I'm gonna put mute. When you work on tonight's assignment, you have to go to Burlington. I mean, you have to go to Google Classroom. When you go to classwork, okay, you have simple present interrogatives. Why did it? Oh, no. Huh. It didn't publish it. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and assign it. Okay, so now it's assigned. Okay, the simple present interrogatives, we're going to click on here, and then we're going to click on the present simple. So when you're here, we're practicing. We're practicing, okay, the interrogatives. We use do or does, okay, and just like what we did right now. And then we have, okay, the answers. So we're completing 1 through 15. And then we're going to complete the blank. And we're going to do half of it. But I want you to go ahead and help me. So right now, okay, we have 1, Charlie tidy his room is 1. Number 2, Christine do her homework. 3, Tom and Charlie take photos. 4, Sarah buy new clothes. 5, the dog run in the park. 6, they eat at 1 o'clock. 7, my mother wear long dresses. So I'm going to go through our list of students who were here earlier, and I'm going to start with, okay, I'm actually going to start backwards. So if Tina can hear me, Tina, can you read number 1 with the correct answer? And we have the word do or does. So what do we want to use for number 1?
Does Carrie tidy?
Does Charlie?
Yeah.
So does Charlie tidy his room? And we're not going to do the answer yet.
No, he doesn't.
I wasn't going to do the answer, but thank you. No, we would say he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Let me ask, okay, my next student, Ariane, if you can hear me. Number 2, Christine, do her homework. Do or does?
Does.
Thank you. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask Mildred. Okay, Mildred, can you tell me what would be the answer for number 2? If the question is, does Christine do her homework? Yes, what? What is the response?
Yes, he doesn't. Oh, Christina is she. Yes, she doesn't.
But we're saying yes. Okay, remember Mildred?
Yeah.
Doesn't?
Yeah.
Is for
oh, no. Yes, thank you. Yes, he does.
Yes, she
does.
Does.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the next one I'm gonna ask, okay, Sarah. Okay, number 3, Tom and Charlie take photos. Do. Thank you. And then, okay, Alfredo. Okay, the question is, do Tom and Charlie take photos? And we say yes, yes. And then what is the response? Yes. Yes is?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so remember, okay, these are two people. Tom and Charlie are people. So my pronoun is they. So here in my blank, we have to put they.
They. Do.
They do. Yes, they do. Remember, and I want all of you to remember, doesn't, don't, they're both okay, used when we say no. So whenever we say no, we're using does, doesn't, or don't with the word no. So every time you see no, okay, he doesn't. Or, okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, let me go ahead and ask Morelia here for number 4. Sarah buy new clothes. Do or does?
Does.
Okay, and then I'm gonna ask Melissa. Does Sarah buy new clothes? No.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
Okay, so I didn't hear Melissa, but thank you, everyone. Okay, no, she doesn't. Okay, the next one came, and I don't know if everyone's connected. So remember, I want you to be connected. Number 5 is it do or does the dog run in the park?
Oh,
Do,
the dog
teacher.
run.
So here our subject is dog.
Does.
So
Does.
Does.
does the dog run in the park? And no.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It.
It. No, it does.
Doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So this is what I want you to practice. We're gonna go ahead and do three more. Number 6, let me see if she can hear me, Olivia. Olivia, number 6, they eat at 1 o'clock. Do or does?
Do.
Do they eat?
Do.
So do they eat at 1 o'clock?
Do they eat at
then
1
yes.
o'clock? Yes.
Do.
Yes, they
do.
do.
Okay, do they eat at 1 o'clock? Yes, they do. Okay, let's look at number 2, Cameroon. This one's my mother wear long dresses. Do or does?
Does.
Do.
Does.
Do.
Does.
Does.
Does my mother wear long dresses? Yes.
She does.
She
does. Yes, she does.
And let's go ahead and look at number 8. My friend need glasses.
Do.
Do.
Do my friends?
Do.
My
Does.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
friend
is one person.
it's one person. And here's where we're gonna have to say, well, we don't know. Our friend can be a male, our friend can be a female. Let's go ahead and say that the friend is male. So if our friend is a male, no, what pronoun do we use? For men, what?
No, he.
Right.
So for men, we use he. No,
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
and it's no, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
So I want you to work on this because I don't want to do this for you. Okay, we're doing this as a class. So we did 1 through 8. Does Charlie tidy his room? No, he doesn't. Does Christine do her homework? Yes.
Yes, she does.
Do Tom and Charlie take photos? Yes, they do. Does Sarah buy new clothes? No, she doesn't. Does the dog run in the park? No, it doesn't. Do they eat at 1 o'clock? Yes, they do. Does my mother wear long dresses? Yes, she does. Does my friend need glasses? No, he doesn't. So guess what? You're going to do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and number 15 by yourselves, meaning you are doing this independently. Okay, so we have the link. I shared the link with you in Google Classroom, but I'm also going to send you the link inside of the chat. So if you want to go to the chat, click on the link. And this is what I want you to do. Once you're ready, okay, to submit it, remember, you have to choose email my answers to my teacher. Once you're ready to submit this. And then you have to make sure you say group is multi-level. School subject is English, in parentheses, ESL. And then you have to enter my email. Also, you have to put your name. So make sure that you put your name and then you click send. I get your responses in my email. So don't think that I don't check them. For example, let's go to live worksheets. I have responses from Brenda and I have responses, okay, just for one of her responses. Okay, on Monday, I had also from Alba and from Jack. And then I had responses from Marianne and Blanca. So it sends me your responses through email. So I want you to work on this. And then, okay, I'm going to do 1, and 2, so that you can see how to convert the sentences to interrogatives. So if we have a sentence that says she works at the bank, we want to understand how do we write this in a question. First, okay, we have to look at the subject. It's going to be she. We have to start with does. That means my sentence says, does she, and then one of you said work.
Works.
Not works.
Oh,
does she work
oh, okay.
at the bank? And this would be how to convert it. You're converting it. So aquí, para mis hablantes español, estamos cambiando la oración, que la frase, a un interrogativo. 2, you play football on Wednesdays. Our subject here is going to be you. And then one of you already said it. So
Do
you
play baseball? Okay.
Do you play football on Wednesdays? So I want you to work on both of these. If you have questions, please let me know, or you can ask me on Tuesday. So again, you're going to have to email the responses to me. And then we're not going to do this yet. We'll review it on Tuesday. But I want you to make sure that you guys know and understand where we have to go. So everyone, okay, when we go to high beginners, we're going into here. Okay, Burlington Core, high beginners. Then we're going to be going to, okay, this time I said right, but we didn't get to do this. So sorry. Okay, we're not there tonight. We're not here. Okay, we went to number 6, grammar. If you haven't finished this, and I know that some of you have finished all of these assignments. Okay, there's students who have not though. Those of you who came in a little bit late, okay, I started showing some of your classmates this. So I'm going to be meeting with all of you next week. For example, Adrian, I'm going to be asking Adrian what happened with number 3, with number 4, with number 5, with number 7, with number 8, because I have access to this. So make sure that you go into Burlington English. Make sure, okay, again, that you go into Burlington English. Please make sure. Okay, please, 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 please. Okay, again, this is one student. I'm gonna go through, for example, the next one, Alba. Okay, I'm gonna go with Alfredo. I'm gonna go through Angelica. Okay, Ariane. Okay, I'm gonna talk to Brenda, Blanca. Okay, and then Jack. If you notice, for example, Jack, he has completed all of them. He did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He's done all of them. The same thing with Blanca. Blanca has done all of them. She did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But then we have students that don't have anything yet. So make sure that you are working on these because I'm going to be checking on you again. Okay, I have to check. For my students who have everything done, I put a reading assignment here. So if you're done with Burlington Core with the first lesson, Unit 1, I want you to open up Vincent's bedroom, and the reading is here. If you click on it, Vincent's bedroom. This book has 848 words. When you read it, it starts on page 4, and you're going to be reading about Vincent van Gogh. So I want you to read this, and then I'm going to have an activity for those of you who are done to go through with me on Tuesday. Okay, we might end up reading a little bit of this on Tuesday. But it's just, remember, one of the things I said earlier in class is that reading in English helps you improve your English. Again, I want you to read. I want you to read in English. So every time you read in English, it helps you improve your English. I know, like, maybe this is not a fun book for you, but it's still, you're seeing a lot of different words. For example, it tells you in 1888, an artist named Vincent van Gogh moved from the Netherlands to Arles, France. Vincent was drawn to the beauty and calm of Arles. He liked the way the light from the nights stars glittered across the Rhone River. And then so it's a little bit challenging. Okay, it is. Okay, but I want you to try to read it. Any questions with the reading or with Burlington English? Questions?
No.
No. And then in Burlington English, remember courses, Burlington Core, student lessons, and then right now, okay, everyone should have, you should all have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 done. You should have at least 5 lessons done. You should. Okay, you should. Okay, tonight, if you haven't, work on the grammar, and then work on 7, and then possibly, okay, on Tuesday, we're going to write a description because I want you to practice your writing with me. So let me know if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, okay, it is 8, it's almost 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. I want you to use the next 45 minutes to work on your core or to work. So are there any questions? Any questions tonight? No questions? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Excuse me. Homework need a reading the story, right? And which one book can choose or?
If you go to Google Classroom, okay, the story, look for 6 week, September 13th, and it says reading Vincent's bedroom. and it's right here. Just click on it and you'll have the book here.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
already
Thank you.
Thank
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions tonight?
No, thank you.
No question.
No, thank
No
you.
need practice.
So please practice English. Please do the
Nina.
homework. And then I will see you on Tuesday. If you have questions,
Please, teacher, what time I have my test tomorrow?
Thank you.
it's at 9 o'clock, Ariane.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So let me know if anyone has questions. If not, have a good night and have a good weekend.
Good
Thank you,
night.
teacher. You
Have a
too.
good
Good
night.
teacher. Thank you.
Teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Heard a little
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.